beautiful people? Welcome once again to Clothings, and in today's video we're going to learn how to make all these beautiful illusion necklines. Yes, so we are going to be learning how to cut these different illusion necklines on our pattern paper, and I have my front and back bodice. So if you've not seen how I made my front and back basic bodice pattern, I'll suggest you go ahead to click the link up here or check the description box to watch that video before you come on to see how to create different illusion necklines. This is my full basic bodice pattern up to the blouse length, but I'm going to be measuring and cutting just by the half length. So let's quickly do that before we move on. So I'll measure 18 inches here. Okay, so I have my front and my back to the half length. I'm going to cut more because we're going to be looking at different illusion necklines. So why I'm even actually cutting the back is so that we see how I'm going to explain what to do for the back, right? So let me go ahead to cut more of this since we're doing different necklines. Alright, so I have about 4 different patterns here for my necklines, but I'll keep these ones away and let us look at this first style, this first illusion style neckline. So please look closely at the picture here. So here we see we have the shoulder princess start. We also have like a round neck, then a deep, like a plunging, not like a V, but a deep plunge right to the half length. So we're going to recreate this on the pattern. All right, now first thing to do is, since we're working with the shoulder dart here, as you can see, we are going to be leaving the shoulder dart that way, right? We're not going to increase the shoulder dart because the neck here is just a basic round neck it's like an illusion round neck, right? So it's not widened, it's not, because once the neckline is widened, then you need to increase the shoulder dart, something like that. But since it's just a round neck here, you don't need to increase the shoulder dart. We'll leave the shoulder dart that way and we'll just draft our normal princess dart. So let's quickly do that. So go in here by 0.5 inch. Okay, so because this is actually a half length, always make this part straight down. Do not curve it this way, because if you curve it this way and you sew it, there's going to be like an extra fullness thing. So we want it just straight so that it fits and cinches on the waistline. So this is basically what we need to do for the shoulder princess dart. Let me also change my marker so we can distinguish it clearly. Now the next thing to do is draft the neckline. So I'm going to go and come down to about 5 inches or 6 inches for my round neck. So let's do about 6 inch here, and we're going to measure about 3.5 inches here. So 3.5 by 6 inches. Okay, so this is what I'll have here now for the neckline. All right, so if you even see the neck, I went down deeper. The neck is just about 3.5 by 3.5 inches. So if I had wanted to do it, it should just be getting here, right? And I get the fact that they're doing 3.5 by 3.5 inches because there's a lot showing already. So let me just do that exactly according to what I have on the screen. So I'm going to go up to about this 3.5 by 3.5. Please pardon this red marker here. We are going to ignore this. So now what we're going to do next is to plan where the net is going to sit. So from there we'll measure out the amount we want the netting to sit on, and I think I just want that net to be about 1 inch wide, so that when you open it up, you know, this net will be cut on fold. So when you open it up, you have 2 inches, and 2 inches is still moderate, right? See 2 inches here. From my bust line, I'll just measure 1 inch straight down from that bust line and just rule a straight line. So I would use that one to eyeball how my curve will pass through. Okay, so now from here, we're not coming to do the curve. I'll just come to just about here, right? Just eyeball it according to the picture and make a U curve. Let it just be like a U till it meets up with that 1 inch point there. Okay, so it's going to be that way. Let me use my red marker. So guys, if you had wanted this 6 inch U, you cut along this red line, but since I have reduced the neckline, I'll just go ahead and cut it this way. So this is it. So this one will cut to on your main fabric. This one too, you're cutting to on the main fabric. The last one, you are going to be cutting on fold on the net. Unfold on the net, main fabric. Do not forget to put in your seam allowances, right, when you're going to be sewing. And that is all for the first style design. Let's move on to the next style design. So for the next style of neckline, we are going to be looking at this one where there's a yoke, an illusion neckline with a yoke, right? Because this yoke means there was like a bustier cut, then the netting was now sewed to the other part of the blouse, of the dress, of the design, of the style. First of all, go and find out where you want the yoke to start from. So I want the yoke to start from about 4 inches there. So I'll just kind of like draw a straight line, though the yoke is not going to be straight like that. I'm just using it so I know where I will increase my chest dart on. So now that we've gotten that, put your tape rule and measure what you have on that chest dart. We have 1 inch there. So I'm going to be increasing this chest dart. Okay, I'll take 0.5 inch here, or you can take more towards that part, then 0.5 inch here too as well, and redraw the new shoulder darts. Remember to do your underbust tightening by going in by 0.5 inches there, and you draw a line from this point here to that 0.5 inch and straight down there. The same thing here, this one too will be straight down, okay, because it's the 1/2 inch and we don't want anything that will not, we want to tighten that place. Now from here, what we can now do is to draw out this curve like so. I'll still go over all of this with a marker. Okay, draw out this curve, and here join up this part to here. Okay, so let me go over it with a marker. So now that we have all of that, we're going to go ahead to draft out the yoke style design. So from this 4.5 inch, I'll just come. Then from there, I'll just go down to how wide I want that netting to sit. So come, okay. So you can see how I'm doing it. I'm not making, there's no straight line, right? There's no straight line. So I'm just going curve it. Curve from that point, just curve it. So if you wanted a V, this one will give it like a wide plunging neck. If you wanted a V, like maybe a sharp V, So from here that you've curved, you can just go on to put your ruler from that point and just give it a sharp V like so, right? So you can do it just from that curve, draw a sharp V like so, or you do that normal curve, right? So that is just it. Let me go over it with this red marker. So if I wanted the sharp V, I'll just go from there, pram to the sharp V. So that will be it for that yoke part. So if we are cutting this one out like so, you cut this way. So this will be like the parts that will be cut on the main fabric, and this is the whole yoke. So for your yoke, just close up the shoulder dart here. So once you close up, then you can now trim off this part, right? So here is fine. Then this shoulder, remember, put paper, and remember to also even cut the neck. We have not cut this neck out. From this point here, draw a line to this point. I'm going to be measuring a 4" by 3.5" neck. Okay, so that's about it. And so let us lay down. This is unfold, the nets, the illusion nets. This one is 2, cut 2 on the fabric, main fabric. Please put your sewing allowance to join this part and this part. Put your sewing allowance here, put sewing allowance here, here, and here. So this one to cut 2 on the main fabric. Okay, so this is the illusion neck with a yoke, right? Illusion neck with a yoke. So you can try it out, guys. If you want me to also try, do let me know in the comment section below the one you want. I can only do one, that's why I'm showing you all of this. The one you want, let me know. So let's move on to style neck 3. So the third illusion neckline we'll be looking at is the plunging V, or the deep V illusion neckline. We're going to also start with this half length basic bodice pattern, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to draw an armhole princess, because if you can see this V, the netting goes well beyond this shoulder dart. So I want to transfer the shoulder dart to the armhole. So we want to do an armhole princess dart, close up the shoulder dart, so we'll have enough space to draw out the deep V. So let's go ahead to do that. Come down here and measure, go to about mid of your, so I'm going to use about 4 inches or 4.5 inches from there. And what I'm going to do is just draw go in to do your underbust tightening, 0.5 inch, then draw your line. If you want to see a more detailed video on an armhole princess dart, please click the link up here to watch that video. Now also from here, I'm going to blend this part to this part like so. Draw it straight down. Blend it to that part, draw it straight down. We are not going to be tightening anything, because the deep V does not mean that there's no netting holding it together. There's a netting there, an illusion net. So from here, I can now cut off this part, close this shoulder dart up, and work on the neckline. So let me cut this part first. So now I'll close this shoulder dart. So this is your normal armhole princess dart, right? But we are going to be creating a plunging V. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this shoulder here and measure about 2.5 inches from that point or you can do 3 inches depending on how wide you want it to be. I'll leave it for 2.5 inches there. And from there, I'm just going to draw a V up onto the half length. So from there, just draw a V straight up to this point. It depends on how you want your V to be. If you want your V to narrow down up onto like the edge, fine. So if you want your V to have like a 0.5 inch width here, so that when you open it, you have like 1 inch, you do 0.5 inch, double of it is 1 inch when it's opened. If you want it to be more wider, you can do 2 inches, but I'll prefer this 0.5 inch. And if you want it to just narrow down to just be sharp, pam, you just come all the way here. But let's work with this 0.5 inch and draw a straight line like so. So we've drawn that line. Now the next thing to do is also draw out the normal basic neckline. So the neckline here, since this is already wide, we'll just be doing like a boat neckline. So I'm just going to do like a 3.5 inch neckline here, or a 3 inch neckline here. So it's just going to be like a boat neck. Okay, so this part will be joining this part, and this part will be the V, and this V is quite wide. It is really wide, I must say. So if you want a whole lot of booby action, this is the style for you. Okay, so this would be, let's say this is going to be the net, and it is cut on fold. That's the illusion net. This one will be, you cut 2 on the main fabric. Put seam allowances where you have, where you cut through. Here, 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 here. No need for seam allowance here because it's on fold. So this is the main fabric, and this one too, cut to main fabric. So this is actually the deep V, or the deep V illusion neckline, the plunging V illusion neckline, and I think it's also called the décolleté illusion neckline. So this is it for that. So for this last illusion neckline, we actually need a full basic bodice pattern. So I have my full front basic bodice pattern. I'm not working on a half scale basic bodice pattern. Now the first thing we're going to do, we're going to try and analyze the style that we see here. We see that this is sort of like a yoke, like an asymmetric net illusion neckline, right? So it's coming from one side and going to the other side along the waistline. Let's put that in mind. So we are going to be drafting the pattern that way. Because we have dots on this basic bodice pattern, you can't just go ahead to just draw a line, pram, and that's it. No, it's not going to fit well, it's not going to sit well, it's not going to look good. First of all, we need to eliminate all the dots. Not like eliminate them, but we need to walk around the dots, see how we can place the dots to make everything look good and sit properly. That is what I'm going to be explaining on how to go about. So first things first, I'm going to open it wide. This is the midpoint. So we're going to go ahead now to start from this part of the armhole, because it's coming this way up onto the other part along the waistline, coming from one side to the other side along the waistline. So I'm going to come to the tip of my shoulder and measure where I want that bustier to start from. Let's say about 4.5 inches, which is about here, right? So I'm going to just from there just curve, like curve on top of the bust. Let's stop there for now. So wait, this is looking wonky. Let me make it straight. Yeah, so I think it's looking better now. So from that point, what we will do is we're going to be increasing this chest dart along this point. We have 1 inch here. Go in by 0.5 inch here. Go in by 0.5 inch here. Increase that point. So I'm just going to draw the line from this shoulder tip dart to pass that new point we just marked, like so. Okay, and do the same thing here. We're increasing the dart so that it's not going to gape at that point, right? So I've increased it, I shared it, I like whatever I had here, I divided into two and shared it on both sides. Okay, so from that point, that is going to allow the bust form, like it's going to be full and fitted well. If you don't do that, it's just going to be flat, bam, on your bust. We don't want it to be flat, bam. We want to show that there's a bust there. So increase that. That's the purpose why we are doing that. And also, there's also going to be a dart here. So still do your bust tightening, 0.5 inch in at this point, straight down, like so, you know, just follow the groove, follow the grind, you know. Okay, so we are through with one side of that point. So from here, it's going to come like so. Let me try and be steady. So it's going to come like so, right? So this is your chest line. This is your bust line. This is your true bust line. So if you wanted to show boobies as you're going, that means you're going to come from this midpoint. It's going to come down like so, right? Let me just use my cuff to get a good angle. So I'm going to be drawing this line up onto this point here, so that I have about 2 inches here. So it's going to come up onto this point. That's according to what we can see in that picture. It has to come this way, then go down. So it's like a wavy line, right? So I can use my marker to finish up. And so now that we have this, we've taken care of this dart here, used it to form a bustier cut and all of that. Now for this part, we have a dart here. So because we have this dart here, I'm going to be drawing it to touch this point here, like so. And this one too will be straight. So it's going to be touching this point too, like so. That's what we'll have there. Then on this part, I'm going to close up this dart. I'm going to close it up, make it relaxed, and totally eliminate the dart, because you can't put a dart on a net. You can't. Why do you want to swap a dart on a net? So eliminate. This is the dart that will just be eliminating, but this dart will come to play. This dart will come to play. That part will come to play as well. So and also from here, this is not how it's going to be. We are going to be separating it. So I'm going to separate this and cut this out too. Please label all these parts so that you don't start looking for them. This and this. So all this one will be cut on your main fabric. All this part below here will be cut on your main fabric. So let me just put. So this top part now, that is the yoke, we are not going to be splitting it. First off, I'll close the shoulder dart here. See, it's not matching up. That means you need to make sure it matches up, right? And put paper here too to match up. So now it's fine there. On this part as well, and work on this dart. So if we close this dart up like so, now we can see that here we have like an excess. So I'll just trim that away. I'll trim that excess away. And do not forget, close it back like this. Do not forget to draw your normal neckline. So because this one is like a turtleneck or like up onto your esophagus, so we're going to draw a normal neckline like so. So your normal basic round neck is just advisable. I'm going to do a 3.5 by 4 inch neckline. So a 3.5 by 4 inch neckline is just advisable because there's a lot of drama already with the illusion guys, this is what it is going to be. Okay, so this is here, left one, and like this. So this part is just on the net. Just place it on your net, cut this out on the net. You can do whatever, but remember that if you're doing this on the net, just know that this bust here, this part here, because this is where your bust is, this bust is, even your nipple is showing on this part. So that's why you can see from this picture here that there was a coverage, there was a cup that was cut just to cover that part. If not, everything is out to the world. So you just patch something there and maybe use stones, embellishments to embellish that part, you know. If not, this is out to the world, right? Okay. All right, so before we just round up, we are going to quickly do the back of all these illusion necklines you have cut. I have my back pattern here. For my back pattern, the neckline does not need to be dramatic at all. Your neckline for the back shouldn't be dramatic. So for style 1, you can see that the neckline, the basic neckline we used was 3.5 inches width. So from that zip line, measure your 3.5 inch width like so. You don't even need to let the back go down so low. It can just be up to about 3 inches. It's fine because there's a lot of drama in the front. So in a round neck or a boat neck at the back is fine. So you just cut it like so. For style 3 that we had a boat neck, then that means this width needs to be wider. So you just follow the measurement you used for style 3. That's I used about 2.5 for the front. So I'll come to this part too and measure 2.5, and it shouldn't be more than that same 3 inches width. So every other part would be the same. If you want to do a normal basic dart at the back, you can go ahead to do that. If you want to do an armhole princess dart at the back, if you want to do anything you want to do at the back, you can go ahead to do that. So that is just the back for everything. Follow the basic neckline you did and just cut it out. The drama is in the front. Alright guys, so if you did enjoy this tutorial, please do not forget to give me a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe if you're yet to. If you'd like to see me sew up at least one of these different illusion necks, leave it in the comment section below. The one that has the highest number of votes is the one I'm going to sew in the next tutorial. So if you want style 1, please say style 1 or illusion neck 1, illusion neck 2, illusion neck 3, illusion neck 4. Whichever one you want to see me try out, please just leave it in the comment section below. I'll just be able to do one, or if there's a tie, I'll do 2, right? Because I'm not actually going to wear, I can't wear them. I really can't wear this kind of necklines. But that's the, you know, we'll have clients that can rock them, that can wear them. Because we can't wear them does not mean that our clients won't wear them. So leave the one you would want to see me try out. I'll be giving you the details on the kind of netting you should use, the fabric, and every other thing to have a perfect finish for these illusion neckline styles that you always see. I'm going to walk you through the process. So just leave as much comments as you can on the type of illusion neck you'd love to see. Until we see in the next tutorial, stay safe. God bless you. Bye.